Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Crossman Wrestling Live. I'm just checking up a few things, and there we go. So, this is my second ever live stream, and the first one didn't go so well. I ended up having to delete it because of how bad it actually was. Now, as you can see, I'm doing this stream in my kitchen because it is the most convenient place to do it, and that's unfortunate, but I do have some plans to make sure I don't have to do this for much longer. I've got some plans to get a setup ready, a studio next year, so I can do live streams in a much more professional environment. So that's why I'm in the kitchen. So we're going to go over a few things today. AEW could potentially be suing Jim Cornette, AEW's head of legal. Mega. What a name. Mega. Who the fuck is Mega? Don't know her last name. Never seen a picture of her. No idea what the bitch looks like, but she could potentially be suing Jim Cornette for defamation of character. And it is a real possibility that this could be happening. CM Punk could be suing AEW because he's going to want the rest of his money because he's not received all of his money from his contract. Not sure how long his contract was running for, but he's going to want the rest of his money. So he's going to be suing AEW to make sure he gets the rest of his money, and also the fact that he was attacked by executive vice presidents of the company. Also going to into the WWE sale. The WWE sale is finalized next week, which is big news, and it's somehow fallen off. Not that many people care about the sale at the minute, but it's big. It is. A lot of people that work for the company are terrified, and rightfully so. And then I'm going to talk about the incident on NXT last night. Shawn Michaels is doing a fucking fantastic job. He is. First, let me get my banners, because I've gone professional, you see. Professional channel update. Now, my plans for the channel going forward are as follows: 2 videos and 1 live stream per week. I'm trying to do the videos on Mondays and Thursdays, and live streams, obviously today's Wednesday, but live streams I'm going to try to do every Saturday. So videos Mondays and Thursdays, live streams Saturdays. I was going to change my logo, but I decided against that. I'm keeping the same logo. Right, so now that's the channel update done. Let's get to the meat of the matter. Bron Breakker and Von Wagner. So, as we saw last night in NXT, well, I didn't say I saw it this morning. I don't watch NXT, but I am going to start watching NXT after what happened yesterday. But they've written Von Wagner off of TV in a very strange but compelling story with Bron Breakker and Von Wagner. They've made it so they've crushed his face. Now, what's going around now is that people think they're gonna do like a Kane storyline where Von Wagner comes out in a mask. They think Von Wagner is gonna come out in a mask and he's gonna be all what's the word I'm looking for? Deformed. And because people have had no interest in Von Wagner for a while until recently, last month or so, people have had interest in Von Wagner, and yeah, it's working. Shawn Michaels is doing a great job on NXT, and hats off to him because he took a dead brand and has made it must-watch TV. It's making me want to watch NXT, and I haven't watched NXT since it was whenever Karrion Kross was buried by Jeff Hardy. That's when I stopped watching NXT, and I'm actually considering starting to watch NXT weekly. Now, where's the storyline going? I'm not sure, but it's going to elevate both men in the process, and I'm looking forward to it. Now, the WWE sale. WWE and Endeavour, their partnership finalises next week. Now, a lot of people that work for the company are fearing for their jobs, and I don't blame them. However, I don't believe that any of the talent, the wrestlers, are going to lose their jobs. I think it's just going to be corporate people that work at Titan Towers. That's who I believe is going to get fired. Not all of them, just some of them. But we'll see. So a lot of changes could be coming to WWE. Now there's going to be another company where WWE are merging with UFC. So a lot of stuff's going to happen there. They're going to be making a lot of money, but there's also going to be a lot of cuts in the higher up office. Again, I don't believe the talent need to worry. It's just going to be the higher ups that are in danger with this sale. Now, where does Vince McMahon play a part in this? I don't think he plays much part at all. I don't think Triple H is going to lose his job. I don't think William Regal's going to lose his job. Shawn Michaels and so on. I think their jobs are safe. I think after what we saw with what Vince did the night after WrestleMania, I think the head of Endeavor, can't remember his name, something Emmanuel, I don't fucking know, but I think he's going to want to keep Vince away from creative. I think Vince is just going to play a part in higher ups and have basically no part in the creative whatsoever, and he's got no part in creative right now. He's completely away from WWE because he's got his spinal surgery that's just as not long happened, and he's also been raided by the federal police for unknown reasons. Trump, it's to do with Trump. I think it's definitely to do with Trump. They want to get some dirt on Trump, and what better man to try and get that dirt than Vince McMahon? So Vince McMahon is not really going to play a part, I believe, once Endeavor have fully bought out WWE. Where does this leave Raw and SmackDown? Well, they've got to finalise their deals first with Fox and USA Network, and then Endeavor are probably going to move them to a streaming platform or something. It depends. We'll see what happens. But as for firings, I think the talent are safe, and they don't need to worry. It's going to be some of the higher ups that Endeavor just simply don't need. Oh, my back. I hate sitting in this chair. I really do hate sitting in this chair. CM Punk. Could CM Punk be suing AEW? I believe so, yes. So, obviously, we all know what's happened with CM Punk. I don't need to go over it again. But, oh, by the way, if you're struggling to hear me, if my sound's a little bit quiet, it's because everyone in my house is asleep. So, I can't exactly be shouting and raving like some virgin that lives by himself. I've got family to think about, so I need to remain at a reasonable volume. Unfortunately, I'd love to go like some virgin that lives by himself, but I'm not that, unfortunately. So CM Punk could be suing AEW because he's going to want the rest of his money. AEW terminated his contract, which means he's lost out on 1 to 2 years worth of money that could build up to about $6 million. So CM Punk isn't going to take that lightly. He's going to want that money, and he's going to be suing AEW. Now, will he win is the question. I personally don't think he will, because he's had 2 backstage fights, and usually when you have a fight at work, you get fired. So CM Punk's had 2 of them. So if he does sue AEW, I keep nearly saying WWE. If he does sue AEW for the rest of his money that they owe him, I think he's going to lose. He's going to fail because he's had 2 of those backstage fights, which at a normal job, you have 1 fight, you get fired. It's as simple as that. Punk's had 2 of them, and I honestly don't believe he's going to win a lawsuit if he tries to sue AEW for the rest of his money. He may win a defamation, but I don't think he's going to get the rest of his money from the wrongful termination, because the termination really wasn't wrongful. You have a fight at work, you get fired. It's as simple as that. It really is just as simple as that. And now, the main topic. Jim Cornette. He gets himself into a lot of bother, doesn't he, Jim Cornette? He's always trending on Twitter. It's not his fault that he's trending on Twitter all the time. People, they take clips out of his videos, small little out of context clips, and they post them and they get shared. And then Jim Cornette is number one trending in the US. I've never seen him trending over here in the UK, but he's number 1 trending in the US all the time because people are always trying to cancel him. What's Jim done this time? Well, he has basically said that the head of legal, Mega, and it's a really stupid name, but apparently her name is Mega. He said that Mega is in cahoots with the Young Bucks, and that she was apparently involved in the brawl out after the media scrum when everyone got into a fight. Apparently, Jim says she was also one of the ones that stormed into Punk's locker room. Now, how true this is, I'm not sure. But if this is the case, now she could sue. She could. But I don't think it would go anywhere. I really don't, because it was a harmless, less than a minute speech. And I mean, free speech. You're on a YouTube's supposed to be a platform of free speech. So, free speech. The Jim has that on his side. So the head of legal could be suing Jim Cornette, and Jim Cornette he has a very powerful lawyer, Stephen P. New. If you watch Jim Cornette, you'll definitely have heard of Stephen P. New. But Stephen P. New, I reckon he'll completely demolish all of AEW's legal team, but it depends how much money Tony's dad is willing to throw at this. And I think he's pretty pissed off already. And I don't think he's willing to throw any money at this whatsoever. It's a trivial and ridiculous situation. I don't think there's any need for a lawsuit in this specific situation. But they still could go through with it. The people who work at AEW, they're very petty, very liberal, even though Jim Cornette's very liberal. But the people that work at AEW, they're worse. They're going to try and sue for anything. So AEW head of legal is most likely going to be suing Jim Cornette. We will see, but only time will tell. Now, that is all the topics covered in this stream. I've pretty much been talking to myself, and I expected that. That's fine. I pushed it out to YouTube, to Twitter, X it's now called. But I told myself, even if there's 0 people here the whole time, there's been people jumping in and out, but at the end, I've ended with 0 people. You got 0 people. It's fine. It's fine. At the end of the day, I need to do these live streams to get used to it. So hopefully next week, next Saturday or this Saturday, whenever I decide to do another stream, there's going to be some more people. So we'll see what happens. So that has been me. If you like the stream and if you're watching once the stream has ended, try and make it for the next one, please. I don't like sitting here talking to myself. I've got that eye there with a 0 next to it, and it's not fun, but it is what it is. Like, subscribe. Let me know what you think about all the topics I've covered. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.